Yeah, I actually modeled this vehicle some time ago, about maybe 2 months ago, but I just decided to do the rigging now. I just finished the rigging. It is Ford Edge, a very cool car. Alright, let's take a look at all the controls. The global control actually contains a lot of controls to drive various attributes of this vehicle, and we have other controls. Let's first of all look at the controls outside the main control. These are controls that act like springs or shock absorber for this vehicle. The downward motion can serve as a porthole kind of control. Goes down the porthole, and tire should sink down the porthole, and the upward for maybe speed bump or anything, stone out there. So you can actually use this control for that. Yeah, so I'll set this back to 0. See that? Okay, down to 0. Then I've got this control set up to drive the glass, the windows. Okay, so upward closes the window, downward opens the window. Same goes here. So yeah, I think these are the controls outside the main control. Now let's look at the main control, what it does. We have some bunch of controls inside the main control to drive all the attributes needed to animate this car. First of all, I will start with the doors, and these are all 4 doors. This is the front left door, and front right door, back left, back right. So all 4 doors have been set to open and close with these controls. Okay, and this is pretty good. Alright, so I have control set up to open the bonnet of this vehicle, close, in case an animation is needed for the engines. Okay, this is an old version of this vehicle, and I've got no engines in the front, but in the newer versions I've created the newer version. I've created the engines, so I think I would also show a little bit of that version containing the engine in my next showcase. So, but this is okay. I might use that version for a short animation for you to actually see the engines. Alright, we have the control set up for the boot. So it's an animation regarding putting luggage in your boots, and it's good. And this is bank control. You can actually tilt the vehicle left or right. These will be pretty useful for road, highway scene where the vehicle is on top speed. Can actually wait for it left or right, depending on shifting lanes. Okay, let's turn this back. This is one very important control. The steering control actually drives the front wheels left to turn left or right. So when I turn the steering, the wheels turn according to the direction of the steering. So you turn left, the wheels turn left, and when you turn right, the wheels turn right. So it is actually pretty handy. and you want to animate a full functional vehicle. Okay, so let's turn that off to 0. And this one very important one too, in case you have a rain scene, you have a control to drive your wiper. Actually works for the back, so all 3 wipers are being driven by this control, and then we can see it from here, all 3 wipers. Okay, and even if your boot is open, this control can still drive the wiper effectively and correctly. Wiper still fully functional. Right. Zero out the boot control. Yeah, tail lights. This can actually toggle on and off the tail light. I'll set my light to all lights and just dial down this. Actually turns on tail lights. That's good. Let's go back to default light. And then acceleration, presses the back of the vehicle down. Actually, a downward force is created to help accelerate this vehicle, and upward force is created receiving this action. So, the force here pushing this, and the end reaction being a pulling force upward, so makes the car accelerate. The brake is the exact opposite. While the car is on motion, already acting by this force, the force is pushing down. The force is pushing down the bonnet side and resisting this force and motion. Okay, then an ignition control here. If I actually play back my timeline, nothing happens because the ignition is turned off. That's how it should be in real life. Your ignition is turned off, your vehicle doesn't do anything. Then once the ignition is turned on and I play back my scene here, actually notice the up and down, upward, downward movement here. It's really very slow on my system, but on a very fast computer it works pretty well. So you can see the jiggling motion there. See, even in real life, when you turn on your engine, your vehicle vibrates. Okay, I'll stop this now and zero out this control. Then one last one, the drift control. I can actually drift left or right, and then this can actually be useful in a scene where you want to turn and stop at that top speed. The brakes, the turning, all the pressure gives this pulse. Actually drift -10 in the control, and turn your steering also to that direction. And let's see, this is front, vehicle comes this way, and try to stop here. Surely it will drift on that top speed, and the tires will still be facing straight. Tires will have to rotate this way to balance the movement, and then because of the stop and it's tilted, it's turned to, it's not really moving straight, you would have a force pushing this vehicle this way to tilt it. So you can also add a bank to tilt it this way a little. So is good. So, ooh, don't see that. So with all this, stopping here, maybe from somewhere here, and whoosh. Oh, that's good. I'll zero that out again, and look at the main control again. Now, here is one very important thing. Your vehicle's wheels should be able to rotate while you move your main control, not dragging and following your vehicle. You don't have to kill the wheels separately, or it should be a very pretty hard thing to do. So the distance covered by your vehicle and the rotation of the wheel should be accurate. So it's one very powerful major thing in vehicle. The first step of vehicle rigging is this wheel rotation. Turn this wheel, turn your control any direction, the wheel still works perfectly. Perfectly. So works perfectly, and I want to also check on the steering. So the steering is turned that way, or that way your wheel still works. So still works. So now it's dependent on your direction of the vehicle. So this is pretty good. Well, I'll be doing more of this show. I will be showing more of my riggings next. I may bring a bicycle rig or a motorbike rig and show how all the controls. Well, in the meantime, thanks for watching. Feel free to ask any question, and I'll be happy to help. In case you want to do vehicle rigging, you can always ask, and it's pretty good for that. Well, my name is Hebel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.